Hi, everyone. Thank you for being with us here on KREM 2 News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti. It is good to see you today. We're going to head right outside here at the top of the noon hour, get a look of the weather forecast with meteorologist Thomas Patrick. Thomas, what do you know?
Yeah, this afternoon feels very pleasant outside at the moment. I'm seeing a mix of some sun and clouds, and the clouds that are above my head, what I would call cirrostratus clouds. It's actually a pretty large deck of high-level cloud cover, and at times it is filtering out some of the sunshine. Looks like at the moment, sun finding a pretty sweet spot and a blue spot in the skies to shine above me here. And our satellite does see a lot of that high-level cloud cover. It actually plots it quite brightly across at least a portion of the inland northwest, but plenty of blue skies, plenty of clear weather to go around. Now, I'm tracking the next storm system, which is just over the very southern tip of Alaska here near Ketchikan. That's going to move into British Columbia and give us our next chances for rainfall, but not until tomorrow at the earliest, really more like Thursday. It's going to be about 48 hours away before it's at its closest approach to our region. So in the meantime, temperatures are going to be nice and warm today, probably low to mid 80s out there, having already crossed that 70-degree mark as of noon. And even next week, it trends above average as well. The only exception is when those showers are nearby. So coming up, I'll show you how much cooler the mid part of this week is going to be and what those rain chances will look like from a probability perspective. All those details are coming up in just a few minutes here.
Thomas, thank you. Coeur d'Alene families, like so many around the country right now, are struggling to afford childcare more than ever. United Way North Idaho says the amount of working families who need childcare assistance is growing significantly. Today, the Coeur d'Alene City Council will vote whether or not to make changes to the Child Care Scholarship Program. The United Way is asking for the program to award multiple scholarships per household for families with more than one child requiring care, and to also increase the maximum monthly scholarship amount per child in order to reflect current market rates. The city previously allocated nearly $35,000 to the program, and United Way says the changes would stay within budget.
We're going to continue taking all our applications and stuff. We're not going to be, putting a cap on, only this many families can get it and stuff. It really is just trying to make sure that we have that little bit of flexibility when it comes to those really greater needs.
Welch says many families no longer meet the newly adjusted income requirements to receive state assistance, and that the change would allow the United Way to offer help to more families in need. Happening today, it is primary election day in Washington state, and ballots are due by 8 o'clock tonight. There are quite a few important races on today's ballot. So KREM 2's Cody Proctor spoke with election staff, and she's sharing some of the issues.
According to the Spokane County Elections Manager, only about 18% of all ballots have been returned to the elections office. Now, even though that number is relatively low, there's still a lot riding on these ballots.
Time's running out to get your vote in.
To remember those deadlines.
That's the warning from Spokane County Elections Manager Mike McLaughlin Monday night. The primary election ends at 8 o'clock sharp Tuesday night. Some of the biggest decisions this time includes rejoining the Spokane Valley Rathdrum Prairie Aquifer Protection Area and the race for Spokane's District 3 City Council seat currently held by Zach Sapone. One surprise return to the August ballot, the EMS levy for Spokane County Fire District 8. Despite passing during April's special election, a filing error forced them to resubmit for the August primary.
We just want to get that highest level of care to our citizens as quickly as possible.
Yet even with races impacting all parts of the county, the turnout's been relatively slow this year, sitting at 18% Monday night. McLaughlin says a low election turnout's typical for a year without a presidential race. By the time they get the last ballot,
We're guessing between 22 and 28% for the turnout. It's slow across the state.
For those planning to vote this primary election, McLaughlin has some quick tips.
If you mail your ballot in, make sure to check the blue box or whatever the last pickup time is. So they have to be postmarked by tomorrow.
Any later than Tuesday, and it won't count. If you'd prefer the in-person route, there are more than 24 drop boxes across Spokane County. But again, ballots need to be in by 8 p.m. Any later, and you'll miss out on making your voice heard.
And if you need information on this year's primary election, you can visit our website. That's KREM.com. We have information about the races and where to find some of those drop boxes. In the newsroom, Cody Proctor, KREM 2 News.
A suspect has been arrested for allegedly setting multiple brush fires over the weekend along the Centennial Trail in Spokane Valley. The fires broke out on Saturday morning. Now, when crews got there, they found 11 to 16 small fires. Witnesses said they saw a woman with brown hair walking away from the fire, so crews tracked her down and arrested 44-year-old Sarah Beal. In her bag, deputies say they found a pillow filling, a matchbox, and hairspray. Spokane County Sheriff's Office said she also had an active warrant for the abuse of the 911 emergency system. Beal is now facing arson charges, plus that unrelated misdemeanor.
I personally have been involved in a handful of investigations on suspicious wildland fires that have resulted in the apprehension of 2 suspects just this summer alone.
The fires were threatening nearby structures, but crews were able to get them under control, and people living nearby said they are so grateful no one was hurt and that their homes are safe. Meantime, the Spokane Fire Department is investigating a suspicious fire at the People's Park in West Spokane. Crews said they responded to a grass fire near the parking lot yesterday morning. Witnesses say they saw a potential suspect described as a man in his mid-60s to mid-70s driving an orange sedan, possibly a Kia. If you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Check. That number is at the bottom of your screen.